Hello and welcome to Paxton Road TV. This is the post-match reaction show for the game Newcastle United versus Tottenham Hotspur. Oh, and the score was 2-2. A very disappointing result, shall we say. We have some special guests in the house. I've got to rub my eyes because I just can't believe what I'm seeing. Mike, Hotspur Hustler, Darius 3K, Bob Spur TV, Nigel, and James from Spurs Related. Good afternoon, gentlemen, and how are we all doing?
How
do you even answer that? How do you answer that question?
Why?
I mean,
no point.
Horrendous.
No
Where
point.
do we start? Let me start. Let me try and just compose myself. We all, well, the majority of us here yesterday, 4 of us were here yesterday, and we talked about the game. I'll just go through some of the things we said. 3-0, 3-0, 3-1, 4-0, 3-0, 2-0. And what do we have? Only Spurs, only a team called Tottenham Hotspur can do this to us. The only team that you'd want to play, bar Sheffield United, I think, in terms of form, and we just don't win a game. And I'm not sure where to start. Is it a combination of selection? I think I was happy enough with the selection just for the fact that, you know, there's certain players that we've talked about that we don't really want to be seeing too much. But then there was 1 or 2 players that I know I didn't really want to see, and I've given them a bit of a chance, but I can't give them any more chances anymore. The manager, again, I don't know what was going on. There was some clear errors in terms of Lo Celso playing from that right-hand side. He was needed to be in that 10 position. He needed to. There was no shape. There was no balance in that first half. Yeah, we had the lead, but come on, it was just there was no real structure to it. I was absolutely devastated by how the second half went in a team that was, you know, we're supposed to be a counter-attacking team, and it just looked like Newcastle were likely to score more than what I know we hit the post with Kane. I know we had chances. There was some through balls that should have been playing. The final third wasn't good enough. But come on, this is Newcastle United. They've won 2 games in 18. They are fighting. And I know, yeah, we can talk about teams fighting for survival. They're not in the relegation zone. They're not. I'm going to stop. Mike, do you want to take anything more from the top on this?
I'm quite interested to see what the other 4 say, to be fair, because I think my thought process is going to be slightly different. So
okay, let's go to Darius first, because Darius
to me last.
Darius is gonna say how he feels. Say how you feel, Darius. Talk.
I'm not ranting. I'm just gonna take a sip before, so I don't cough or anything.
Oh, he's gonna have a rant.
I'm not gonna rant. Honestly, I'm not gonna rant because I put my neck on the line for the team. Yesterday I said so much. I literally have a rule where I don't predict clean sheets for Tottenham because I just think we're never gonna keep a clean sheet. I predict 3-0 and they go and embarrass me. And me personally, and this is me personally speaking, I'm not speaking for Spurs fans, I'm not speaking for anybody, but I am done with this season. I'm pretty much my mindset is what's the point? Because it looks like those guys are portraying that on the pitch. I don't understand what happened. I have no tactical analysis. I can't give you any analysis on what happened because for me, that game is a easy win for me, in my opinion. I saw them play Brighton before the international break and they got absolutely dominated by Brighton. And in my opinion, that is a game for Newcastle that you want to probably try harder in because that's your direct rivals for relegation. So for me, I think it's inexcusable. I think this game was inexcusable, but I don't know who I can blame. I know who I can blame. I just don't know who else I can blame other than Jose Mourinho, because every single player that we've all been kind of wanting to see and asking to see started, and all the players that we suppose are bad eggs and we claim are bad eggs didn't start, weren't even in the squad. And from probably minute 10, I could clearly see that there was no system. There was nothing. There was absolutely no sort of game plan, no system, no whatsoever. It was almost like throw the players on, tell them to do what they can do and see what happens. Kane was playing left wing, centre mid, striker. Vinicius was playing on the right. Lo Celso was playing on the right. Vinicius playing. There was no system. There was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. And you can throw all your best players on the pitch, but if you can't even coach your players to do something in attack. For example, when I saw a flat four up front, a flat four with making no movements. Reguilon was on the left. He made no inside runs. Kane and Vinicius were both on the last man. No one was dropping in. There was no sort of any impetus to see that there was actually some sort of coaching going on in training. I genuinely, I don't know if there's coaching going on, attacking coaching, that is. And even now, defensive coaching, because I mean, well, defensively, again, I'm not going to go on, but defensively, I don't think Jose can do anything when you have players like Sanchez. But then again, he's choosing players like Sanchez. So yeah, I just want to hear from you guys, because I don't know what to say. I genuinely don't know what to say. I'm just baffled. I'm baffled by how we even conceded and drew. It feels like we lost, but we drew. So.
And yes, that's just the point. We did draw the game, but again, this feels like a loss. It's I wrote down in the very beginning of this, Harry Kane basically had a free roll. He was picking the ball up anyway he wanted. I wanted to see him a little bit more either in that central area, but he did literally have a free roll. But the problem I really took and saw was that first half. We had Lo Celso on the pitch. He was playing. I don't know where he was playing, because he seemed to be on the right. He then drifted in a little bit, but then he goes back to the right. He needed to be central. As I said, if you're going to play with Vinicius and Kane up top, if you're going to play that way, you got to have, in my opinion, if you play two up top, 4-4-2 diamond, or certainly have two pivots, we look flat. And John Joe Shelby, he can't run, but he looked like Pirlo at some time today. I couldn't get my head around how they just didn't get someone just to be around him, because he's not going to beat you for pace, so he can only spray passes. Bob, I'll come to you now. What you tell me what you thought of that game, because I think we're all going to have a story to tell on this game today.
It's just a feeling of a combination of being let down by a set number of people. You know, Jose letting us down by playing Lo Celso through the middle, where quite easily Luke has been our best number 10 for the past month or so. Bringing on Lamela when he had the option of bringing Bale on, and knowing full well that Lamela doesn't have a right foot. Hence the reason when we were 3 against 2, he decided to play the worst pass, or cut back, or whatever he did was rubbish. He gave away a ball away about 15 million times towards the end. Sanchez let us down by playing like Sanchez. Tanganga and Rodon were doing jobs for 2 men basically. Tanga was covering Sanchez as well as Rodon. Oh mate, it's just a collectiveness of just being let down by a number of people over and over again. But when you stand back and look at it, are you really surprised? Yeah, go on, mate.
I was just going to say, I don't think Rodon was the issue.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because he was making up for Sanchez's poor performance. There was so much better. I think Rodon was absolutely brilliant today. But
probably the best centre back.
His partner was letting him down constantly. So he was doing essentially two people's work. I thought Rodon was great. I thought he was really good. But it's just collectiveness. Yeah,
we've got quite a few, and welcome to Tommy Spurs Zone TV.
Yes, Tommy.
How we doing, boys? How we doing, chaps?
I've
just been on a mini Easter egg hunt, so I'm in a decent mood. You know, I'm in a decent mood.
Hey, Tommy, I'm in a good mood as well, mate. I'm 2-2.
I'm not in a good mood. I'm all right. I'm not letting this Galaxy. I just had a Galaxy chocolate egg mini Easter egg hunt for the kids. So
I'm not letting this draw beat me.
And this is what I'm saying. We have to look at other things to make us happy today, and Easter eggs might be the way to go. Nigel, I'm going to come to you.
Yeah, man. Like at this point, there's not a lot that I haven't said about this team. And I was saying to Bobby earlier, like, you could replay things that I said about us having no style of play. Like, I was watching, like, there's points where everyone was just walking, and you couldn't tell the difference between this and an exhibition. It was just an all-around very low energy performance, minimal structure. We go into Newcastle, and it just seems like our players need slapping to wake up again. And on that, I feel like it was a lot of players' worst actual game for us. I feel like Reguilon had one of his worst games ever played for us. Also, this was definitely one of his worst games. Don was horrendous. Ndombele was terrible. Sanchez, even by Sanchez standards, was
even by his standards, yeah.
Even by his standards, like he usually has like one horrendous mistake, but like he just didn't even look like a footballer like today. Is bad. Again though, Toby, I've always said why the gap between the two centre mids was so humongous that Dwight Gale's winning headers, and it was and it's like why have you played Sanchez and Rodon? Just put Toby is an immovable rock in our squad. Like he has to play. Whether you put either side, it doesn't matter, but you have to have the experience. And putting Sanchez with Rodon doesn't put any of them in the best position for, to succeed.
James, I'm going to come to you. Where do you think the blame lies for this type of performance and obviously this type of result? Because as I said, we all looked yesterday and we were clearly almost overlooking this game. We were kind of thinking to ourselves, yeah, we're moving on to Man U. We've got big game next week. This is obviously all games in the Premiership are big games. Don't get me wrong. And I almost take a little bit of when you're playing a team who has not won in however long they hadn't won, or two wins in 18, and are obviously trying to keep themselves afloat. You know that they're going to come at you. And this was a prime example of Spurs should be able to take advantage. What do you think went wrong?
Do you know what, Sam? Like, if you came to me at the start of the game and we played a normal formation, I'd have said the players. But what if anyone can tell me in the comments or in the call what formation we actually played today? I'll give them £100 because apparently it was a 4-3-1-2, right? I saw a 4-1-1-1. Play wherever you want. That's what I saw.
Freestyle formation.
And the other thing is, like, obviously Kane was our best player by far, but I mean, some of the performances, like we were saying, Sanchez is playing. I don't know how many chances do we give Sanchez till he doesn't start. That's what I'm saying.
I've already given him enough chances. I don't want to call him by. I got caught out. Do you know what? I didn't call him by his name. I called him number 6, and I did that for a while because I didn't want to mention his name anymore. And then I got drawn in by the fact that
we played Wolfsburger. That's what happened.
That was right. And he still made mistakes in that game, but I gave him the benefit of that. And then I think I gave him the benefit of that in the Villa game because we didn't concede a goal. And I thought, well, you know what, Sanchez, if you got a leader by you, maybe. Now I'm fully done with him. I'm completely gone. No more number 6. I don't want to see you play in. No. I don't want to see you play in that shirt again. Please tell me you are injured or do something else. Go and take up tennis, cricket, whatever you want to do, but please don't play for Spurs anymore. Tommy, sorry. I'm going to come to you. How was the Easter egg hunt anyway? Because there's not much to talk about with this.
It didn't last very long, to be fair, because obviously I just finished the live watch along.
2020.
But I've got my, do you know what? I've got my Galaxy Easter egg. I've got a bit of apple juice, spelt C-I-D-E-R. So, yeah, it's all right. But I tell you what, I'm looking at the lineups here. And I tell you what, I don't have to look back on the lineup to know that their starting lineup was weak. I mean, everyone was talking about Son being ready, but they didn't have Maximin ready. Saint Maximin, he's an outstanding footballer. Callum Wilson and Willock was on the bench as well. They changed the game when they come on, but how depressing was the first 30 minutes without an attack? They really did. They had nothing going for them up front, and we still struggled. I mean, Sanchez, is anyone really shocked with Sanchez? Is anyone really shocked with Sanchez?
He was worse than normal.
He was worse than normal, but I mean,
he was horrendous.
Yes, but even against Burnley, even against Fulham, his clearance against Fulham. Look, his clearance against Fulham resulted in their goal that got disallowed because, well, it should never have been disallowed. Really, his hand was right next to his leg. The amount of mistakes he's made in the games we're winning. Is it that ridiculous, his performance today? It's probably one of his better performances, to be honest.
No way.
He made about 3 mistakes in the first 20 minutes.
I mean, did anyone see the mistake Sanchez made in 10 minutes? He kicked the ball straight to their midfield and they should have scored.
Obviously, I'm being a bit pedantic when I say that. But he's a joke. He's been a liability for a long time. What I want to ask are how many centre backs do we need to get rid of? Because Toby looks like he's going to Club Brugge. That's why he's not involved. Is it 3 centre backs we need to lose? Dyer, Sanchez, and everyone's talking about we're going to lose 1.
Sanchez can stay. He's just literally fodder for if anybody gets injured. He's not a starting centre back. Toby has to start. And if Toby doesn't start, there's issues. So we're gonna have to replace Toby first of all, and then we're probably gonna have to get another centre back.
We haven't replaced Jan Vertonghen yet, though. So there's already well, we're replacing Toby Alderweireld. We haven't replaced Jan Vertonghen. So
we're getting further.
I'd only get rid of
before we get too far into this, I just want Mike Hotspur Hustler to have a balanced viewpoint because he's let everybody else go. So now it is time for Hotspur Hustler to have his say as well. I want everybody to have their say first, and then we'll get into the stats and look at a few other bits and pieces.
Take Sanchez out of the equation because the bloke was just dumped today, wasn't he? Let's be honest. And he's killing me because I try to back him up. I try to throw the guy some like a lifeline and stuff, but he's dumped. There's no excuses for it. I thought Rodon played well. I'd like to see him. It's obvious that the two centre backs should be Rodon and Toby. If Toby can play for Belgium in the heart of their defence, then surely he must be good enough and fit enough to be playing in the heart of our defence. So God knows why he wasn't playing today. But Darius, I think Darius mentioned. No, it wasn't Darius. Sorry, I think Nigel mentioned that Ndombele. He thought Ndombele was ponying stuff. I actually thought Ndombele played quite well.
I think at times, he was right.
Yeah, I think he
got caught on the ball a lot more than
he got caught. There was a couple of times. I'll give you that. Yeah, in certain areas he got caught, but I don't think him and Højbjerg. I think they played their usual sort of game. I think we looked lethargic today. You can put it down to maybe the international break or whatever.
I just don't understand why we look lethargic though, because most of the players have had about 10 days rest.
Well, you say that though. Half of them are playing in friendlies and stuff, aren't they? Or international games during midweek.
Not many of them played.
Apart from I think Moura, Lamela.
Sanchez didn't go away.
Reguilon stayed as well.
Yeah, so I think it's the South Americans that, maybe Reguilon as well. But I don't know. We just look lethargic. I mean, when you look at the grand scheme of things, we're only a point.
Let's put this graphic up. Let's put the starting 11 up, courtesy of Mr. James Forrester. So we had, as you know, and we don't have to go through this much. We had. What did you think of Tanganga at right back? What was your thoughts on him?
Bad. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was terrible today. I thought he was terrible
bad
today.
Yeah, he was bad. It's hard for me to say because I've been a massive supporter of him being in the first team, but it was probably his worst game in Spurs.
He's not a right back, so I can't like. It's. I feel, you know what I mean, Tommy. I feel bad calling him bad because he doesn't play right.
He was bad though. I don't think he was bad. I think he was I don't think he was performing at the levels that we've seen him play. But if you're talking bad, then I mean we're putting him on a par with Sanchez, and I think Sanchez was probably the worst performer out of the lot of them today. But
I think Sanchez was unforgivable.
He struggled. He struggled, Tanganga. Nobody's putting him in the same bracket as Sanchez. No one's putting him in the same bracket as Sanchez today.
No.
I wouldn't say he was poor though. I think he wasn't performing at the levels that we've seen him play. And the same with Reguilon.
Covering Sanchez. He was covering Sanchez.
Our fullbacks get exposed so often. I don't know what the problem is, but if you look at our fullbacks, do get exposed pretty often.
If you look at centre backs, because of the poor centre backs. If you look at that back line, though, where is the leadership in that back line? There is no.
Precisely.
That's why you have Toby in there, because when Toby's in there, he commands the back line. He tells people where he wants them. You see it in every game. He's always pointing at, normally it's Sanchez, probably to tell the clown to keep close to him or whatever. But you need a leader. You need a leader in the back line, and there isn't one there. Rodon.
I was going to say, going into that midfield, it shows as a diamond. I know it shows, and that's how I thought it should have been. It should have been two pivots. You should have had that as the diamond today, where you've got, and I think if you replaced Lo Celso, probably, well, again, depends, because they did change it in the second half when they made the 4, was it kind of like a 4-2-3-1. But even if they played this system in the first half, I would have been happy with this. But I didn't see any shape. I never saw anything close to resembling the shape. Harry Kane, as I said to you, was just playing wherever he wanted. And then it just seemed like everybody else was playing wherever they wanted as well. So I'm not sure.
This is what I was saying. Like what formation when we did the formation and made this graphic, and Finn, who's in chat, actually made it. We were saying, is it a 4-2-3-1? Is it a 4-3-1-2? Is it a 4-3-3? And do you know what? When it started off, I thought it looked like that, and then I thought Lucas is going wide, Kane's going wide. I mean, Tanganga's playing right wing. What's going on here? Like, seriously,
you've got to look at it when you look at formations. I don't think formations really matter that much as long as the players are on the same wavelength.
The principles
as long as
of
the players are on the same wavelength. I mean, you go Johan Cruyff's Barcelona, the great Barcelona side. I mean, the centre back played up front and the right back played right wing. They switched all the time. But if the players are not on the same wavelength, then it looks shocking, like it did today. It was absolutely shocking.
I said a while ago though, Jose, when there was especially the early phase of the season when Jose used to have a strop and just make like 5 substitutions, it was like, you clearly don't have an idea of what you want us to do. You're just plugging and playing. Again, we're plugging and playing. And then we come and we say, oh, we don't have any. If Kane isn't Kane, we hardly score any goals.
That's my point. That's my point exactly. I'm just on the formation as well, guys. I personally, now I'm looking back and thinking about it, them guys played 5 at the back. A diamond wouldn't have even worked anyway because we needed width. We needed width. So even if we did play a diamond, it wouldn't have worked. So he set up wrong from the start anyway. And we liked the team, but it was not right. It wasn't right. And my second point is, and what you said, Nigel, is so true. You can have as many, and Tommy as well, you can have as many formations as you want. You can play whatever you want. And I made reference to this yesterday. It's how you set up. When I saw the attacking players in positions up the pitch, nobody made a run into the box. There was no runs. And you've got Ndombele, you've got Højbjerg, you've got Lo Celso, and Harry Kane, who can all play threaded passes. And that's something that not many players are exceptional at, and we've got 2 or 3 players who are pretty exceptional at playing balls through the midfield lines. There was none of that. There was no runs. There was nothing. As soon as the ball got past the halfway line, it was kind of like, right, we're going to pass to Kane, and then he might have some individual brilliance, and Ndombele might show some individual brilliance. There's no sort of telepathic runs. There was no, like, as soon as, if it was me, if Ndombele got on the ball, I would coach my players to run as soon as Ndombele got on the ball, because even if you don't get that pass, he's probably going to be able to get it through to you. And if you do make that run anyway, and he gets it through to you, you're going to have a better chance than if he gets on the ball and then you want to make the run.
Do you know what, though, Darius? Do you know what was happening in that first half? You say about making the runs. Carlos Finofsadius was about 700 yards offside for about the first 4 balls. So, I mean, we're talking about making runs. Make them onside to start with. That would be a start.
Yeah.
With the formation, I disagree about the diamond. The diamond can work, particularly against the 5-3-2. And I'll tell you why it can work. When you're playing a 5-3-2, the opposition only have 2 wide players because they've got 3 central players. So if you have a diamond, you should be able to command a central area. Your fullbacks then have to play up high because it's 1v1 in them wide areas.
But then you're playing Tanganga right back, so that's the issue.
But that's the point. So that's the point I'm trying to make. If you've got someone who's good at 1v1s, Reguilón is. He should be dominating that side. And what you then do is you have players that can adapt to go out from the diamond shape to go out to join that attack. But we never had any sort of formation to be able to do that. We couldn't build off it because we had no plan. There didn't appear to be a plan. And then when they brought Son in the second half, it just seemed, okay, we'll revert back to our 4-2-3-1 as such. But there was still no plan of attack. You've got to play wide if you're playing a 5. If you're playing against a 5, you have to play in wide areas. You have to double up in the wide areas. You attack in wide areas. If the ball's all central, it's easy. It's so easy for any defending team. And for us to make, as I kept going back to, for us to make John Joe Shelvey look like a world beater is unforgivable. The guy cannot run. He cannot run.
John Joe Shelvey. That's why, honestly,
it's crazy. That's what he looked like today.
I'm disgusted.
We can't blame the structure today. Come on, we can't. There's no way we would look at that and blame the formation or the structure.
No,
purely and simply because there wasn't one. There wasn't one. Yeah. You look at it. If you want to stand back and look at the bigger picture, the likes of Lloris, Reguilón, Ndombele, Pierre, Lucas, Kane. I'll put Vinny in that bracket as well. We should not be winning against this Newcastle team.
I took a picture of their lineup. I took a picture of their lineup and sent it to my group chat and said, if we can't beat this team, there is something seriously wrong with Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
Paul Dummett.
If people are shocked at this result, you're not been watching Tottenham enough this season.
Yeah, but Newcastle.
Newcastle,
Tommy. I understand what you're saying, but I even said that. understand what you're saying. We've been bad, but it's Newcastle. They have been next level bad. And to concede two to Newcastle.
Henri said this last week. I don't want to be a talker of Henri. Obviously, we don't like it too much. But repetition equals habit. If you carry on, if you play ultra deep all season, what do you think when you start losing results? You're gonna switch to more
True.
Didn't we lose 4-0 to Zagreb or something?
More an attacking. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. This is how we play all season long. These are the road results. We're 3-0 up against West Ham. We're 3-0 up against West Ham in the 81st minute playing this system. But because we beat Man City with the same system 2-0, even though they had 26 shots, we had 2. We scored both our shots.
Can we look how many shots Newcastle had as well, please?
Well,
we'll do another Easter egg hunt later.
Hey, can he play centre back?
He's getting emotional, man.
He plays centre back.
Can he play centre back? Yeah, get him on centre back, mate.
Get him in centre back, honestly.
Before we get to the stats, I know we want to get to the stats. Let's just have a look at some of these comments coming through. We have to deal with the comments. All right. So, Spurs related, we are bad. We know that. So, Brian, we are a disgrace. We are pathetic. We are a mess. We are the biggest tease of a club ever. We deserve every bit of banter coming our way. Brian,
we don't deserve it. We don't deserve it. The players deserve the banter. We don't deserve the banter.
We're going to get banter.
I don't
put it this way. We are going to get banter. Enough for Mourinho. Giving Bale only 2 minutes to change the game. Useless. Bale should have started. Piss poor. Mr. B. Hello, Mr. B. All he has to put is a lot of laughing emojis.
I agree with that last post. I agree with that. Bale should have started. If Son doesn't play, then Bale has to start. If Son doesn't play, Bale has to start. It's as simple as that.
Oh, gentlemen, what can we say? How can anyone want Mourinho's negative style to say at Tottenham? Enough is enough. Sack him tonight. Why didn't Bale start? So everybody's now crying out for play. But this is the problem now. We are gonna flip flop into, well, he shouldn't have started because he wasn't making the effort. There's something fundamentally wrong.
There is no pleasing Spurs fans, though, is there?
100%.
You've got to think, like, what did Bale actually do when he came on? Hit it for about 700 yards over the bar for a conversion in rugby he thought he was playing.
Real.
So, I mean, come on.
For real.
Let's get this straight.
Newcastle with a better side. Sorry, Bob.
That's right,
I'm just going to read a couple more comments and we'll come back. Newcastle with a better side. Newcastle deserved to win. Spurs were lucky.
I agree.
Can't disagree with that. Jose playing North London freestyle football. I think we've already touched on that.
He's trolling us, isn't he?
Spurs backline was open wider than Katie Price's legs.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Who is
that?
No more Jose. Should have never got the job. Ooh, there's a lot going on in the background there. Doesn't represent Spurs and is far too stubborn. Bale should have played. Finley, more laughing emojis. Oh, Bob again saying, does anyone here still want Mourinho to manage our club? Pathetic.
How you doing, Bobby? How you doing, Bobby, man?
Awful negative and is not even getting results. What's your thoughts then? Is this all down to the manager? Is this all down to the manager?
Yes. No, guys.
Yes.
Because
hold on. Who wants to go first? Bob, hold on, Nigel. I know what you're going to say. Nigel, hold on.
No,
I know what you're going to say. Let Bob say his piece because I know what you're going to say. Let Bob
say. I've said right from the beginning of the season, or since Jose, our performance has gone downhill. I'm not Jose in or Jose out. I'm Spurs in. I'm Tottenham in. Right, that's all I want. I don't care who the manager is. I want success for Tottenham. But what I don't want to hear again from Jose is him, he's done 2 or 3 times throughout the season, he's chucking his players under the bus. I've told him to do certain thing and they've not done it.
Agreed.
Because there's only a certain amount of times you can say that before you start looking at yourself and thinking, maybe I'm not telling him the right thing. Maybe my voice isn't going into my thoughts aren't going into maybe they don't have the tactical nous of
or they're just not listening. Or if they're not listening,
exactly,
that's even worse.
Jose is either lost the dressing room, which if you lose a dressing room, there's only one way to it, or secondly, unfortunately, he doesn't have that new style management mind anymore. And
seems like you made a decision.
It's not 04-05 anymore, guys. It's we've got on from there.
Nigel.
And
he's waiting.
Yeah, go on, Nigel. I'm
going to have to let Nigel go because he really needs to go.
Listen, it's been a year and a half, and no one can tell us what our attacking plan is. We keep saying our defense, someone else is going to come in, someone else is going to sort out that defense. We need new defenders. That's true, but a game like this in Newcastle, and you watch us, and we've had the same manager for a year and a half, the caliber of players we have, and we're arguing about what formation we played. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's implemented nothing. Harry Kane, Son, Højbjerg have been keeping this man's job alive, and Bale did the right thing booting it into Stan Z, because if anyone had come and kicked that top corner, we're possibly top 4, and people look at this season, see, oh, it's not too bad.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
We haven't done it.
He hasn't
done
look how many goals we scored this season. You can't tell me that Mourinho's not.
That's not Mourinho. It's not Mourinho.
Hold on. You cannot tell me, right, for 1 minute that a top team, well, I say a top team, a team that should be fighting for the top half of the Premier, well, top 6, whatever you want to call it. But you can't tell me that we've scored over 100 goals this season. That can't just be down.
Against your own league teams.
Boys.
Against average European League teams.
But you can't be. But they're still professional football teams.
But we've played more games than a lot of teams as well.
You can't be telling me Mourinho's not trying to implement
every week, and you think we really deserve that title of most goals scored in Europe? Like, with some of the
I'm not saying we deserve it or we don't. What I'm saying is the fact that somewhere along the lines, what Mourinho has implemented in terms of tactics going forward has worked. What the problem is, and it's always down to, it's always the same. We score goals for fun. We can't defend.
We can't.
You can't defend. You can't tell. I mean, every game we've played this season, I think how many games have we not scored a goal this season in the Premier League?
But going back to that point, though, Mike, does it not come down to the manager now to sort out the defense? Because we know we can't defend. So surely implementing a style that can utilize our attacking, even if we were to do this, you know, I go back to the old Newcastle days when they were just attacking and it was like, you attack, we attack. The old Paul Merson saying, that's what it kind of boils down to. And let me just put these stats up here because this will be interesting. So, let me just take off the banner so we can just all see it a little bit better. 59% to 41%. So we had the possession of the game. 22 shots to 11. Newcastle had 22 shots. Now, I know we go into the on target, but they still had more than us. 6 on target to our 5. You know, now we're looking at the passes, total passes again, a stat that I kind of doesn't really bother me because, you know, unless them passes are in hurting areas of the pitch, they can have the ball and play at the back all day long. Yeah. 14 fouls to 13. So again, it was equal on that. They weren't really dirty. I wouldn't say they were dirty at all. Guys, does that reflect Tottenham in a nutshell in terms of all that possession? I would say all that possession, all them passes, but we're not getting shots off at goal. Who is to blame for that today? Who's
Jose,
to blame for that?
I don't see how Jose can't be solely at blame for today. And you know what? I've got a couple reasons why I'm starting to slowly not kind of give Jose the credit for the defense being bad either, because Thomas Tuchel came in. Lampard conceded 50-odd goals to that Chelsea defense. He had a 36-year-old Thiago Silva who's been injured quite a bit this season, and he's come in and changed the system, and he's got them playing well. And yes, he sacrificed goals, but they've not conceded because he's played 3 at the back and brought in a system that's going to help those players. Jose's system doesn't help players. Inviting pressure on Sanchez isn't going to make him any better, isn't going to make him any worse. So that doesn't make any sense playing a defensive style if you're going to start Sanchez, in my opinion. And also, you can score 1 or 2 goals in a game, right? But we've been 1-0 up in games. Cool, we've scored in the first 4 minutes. But then for the next 70, 80 minutes, we've gone on to try and hold on to a 1-0 lead. Have we not just gone and scored 2 or 3 more goals? At least we've given ourselves 2 or 3 more chances to concede more if we were to concede it, it makes me think we all shout and complain. Well, not even shout and complain, but we all kind of were laughing at the naivety of Marcelo Bielsa's style. But bro, if he goes and scores 4 goals with that Leeds team, at least they've got 4 chances to not kind of drop points. If we score 1 goal against a team like Crystal Palace, it took 1 free kick for them to score. If we score 1 goal against Wolves, it takes 1 free kick for them to score. It's not good enough to kind of hold up. We're not good enough to hold on to a lead. So I wouldn't be bothered. I wouldn't be that mad if we had world-class defenders and we were playing this style of football, but he's not helping the players. Yeah, he's not doing anything to help the players.
This isn't the best version of our team.
It's not, and that's the issue. He's trying to force a system that's not going to work with the players that we've got. Why don't you just kind of press high?
I don't even think we have a system.
Look at Liverpool again. I'm gonna give another example. Look at Liverpool. They've lost their centre backs, but their system basically, and the reason that they've been bad is when they played Fabinho and Henderson in centre back, they had no one to kind of destroy and break up the play before the ball got to the centre backs. As soon as they put Fabinho back in that DM, they're eating up the ball. They're stopping the ball even getting to those centre backs. So those centre backs don't even have to deal with it. They're pressing high, so the centre backs don't have to do the work. And then if they have to do the work, you've got about 4 chances in a game. As a centre back playing for Tottenham or Liverpool, I'm expecting you to probably come through 3 out or 4 out of those chances. If you've got 15, 16 chances against you, I can't get angry at players who have been pelted with 16 chances and maybe make 2 mistakes, because that's going to happen. That's just life. You can't expect people to have perfect performances. And that's what Jose Mourinho expects. And then expecting it from Sanchez as well. You're only expecting one way. There's only going one way, guys. It's only going to go one way.
I'm going to just before we carry on, because we've got a load of comments we need to go through as well. Just to put a little bit of perspective in, we are only 2 points behind Chelsea.
Don't.
Hold on.
Please.
I'm going to give a little bit of perspective because we have to be balanced here. I'm as much disappointed in this whole thing, this whole saga, but there is always a but. Everton, even if they win tomorrow, won't go above us. West Ham can. So, again, coming back to this comment, do you guys reckon top 4 is still in reach?
No.
We're 2 points off. How is it not?
2 points
We
off.
drew with Newcastle. We drew with Newcastle. I've got no faith anymore.
I don't know how, but
I've got no faith.
Do you know what?
Sorry,
do you know what, Darius? Your point was spot on about like there's only so much you can do with the defense and stuff like that. But going back to this question, is top 4 still on? Of course it is. Look at Chelsea yesterday. Who thought they'd lose 5-2 to West Brom? Let's be honest. Come on.
And also,
it's a two-way question. Isn't
results like that are flying about everywhere this year. You can't.
And there is no easy game in this Premier League. There's never been an easy game in the Premier League. So, I mean, you see Sheffield United picking up points against Man United and stuff. There's no easy team in this Premier League to play against. So
you've got Harry Kane and Heung-min Son and Højbjerg and Ndombele. Newcastle have Paul Dummett in defense, Jamal Lascelles, and who I can't even name half that Newcastle. I'm sorry, like we said, the quality, regardless of there being difficult teams, the situation they're in, you've got Harry Kane who's got 46 goal involvements in 41 games. I don't care, honestly, and this is just me. I don't really care who. If it's Newcastle, that Spurs team should be beating Newcastle.
I think we do have to look at perspective because, as we've rightly been said,
you can't
West Brom schooled Chelsea yesterday. I don't care if Chelsea
100%.
had 10 men; they got schooled yesterday because some of the goals that they scored were very, very good.
They had 10 men. They lost Thiago Silva.
Hold on. It doesn't matter about the 10 men.
They would have won anyway.
We can't flip flop and say, "Oh, United didn't have 10 men when we played them." So let's have a bit of perspective. West Brom are not very good. They're a defensive team in itself, but the way they played yesterday showed me if you attack, if you set up in the right way and you attack, you can do what Newcastle did to us today and what West Brom did today. So I'm saying top 4 is still on. I'm 100%. Gutted by what we did today.
Definitely
absolutely flabbergasted.
I mean, it's definitely on. You can say what you want. It's definitely on. We've got our last 4 or 5 games of the season. We've got a relatively easy running after the Carabao Cup final. Even before the Carabao Cup final, we've got Southampton, and in the last 5 games, other than Leicester, last game of the season, we've got the best running. Leicester's running is horrific. It's horrific.
It's two questions in one, isn't it? It's 2 questions in one. Is the top 4 still in reach? Yeah, of course it is. Statistically, of course it is. Now, with the draw being so raw, do we feel it's within reach? No, I don't. Judging on today's performance, no, but it is, of course, still. Now, with regards to us scoring 100 goals throughout, which is right, it's been against average team, but I don't think Jose he should be getting any applause for starting with Kane and Son. That's the reason why we've got so many goals.
2 world-class elite.
Exactly. And I don't think Jose should take any credit for it just because he started with Kane and Son, because no matter who the manager is, if they play, they'll help towards scoring 100.
I want to know how many goals he scored without those 2 in the team, or even just attacking play. I don't see any attack. My issue is I don't see any attacking play. There's no sort of structure.
Kane has been involved in all but 11 goals in the Premier League this season. For us,
it's insane. It's insanity.
That's more than just, you can have individual brilliance, but then there's that, and then there's dependency, and that sounds like if he wasn't playing, we'd be plummeting down the table.
But surely any team in the Premier League would rely on Kane.
But again,
why is it any different to us?
Because we've got Son and we've got Ndombele and we've got multiple players who are world class in that position, and that's why I can't.
Harry Kane is unique. He's out on his own. Exactly. Alan Shearer is his next. He's probably the one that's going to beat him in terms of Premier League goals. Did you ever see Shearer get assists and come deep?
But you look
Kane is unique in every. Everybody's talking about 150 million pounds. He's a 200 million pound player.
He's elite.
Minimum. He's elite. Him and Son have got us out of trouble time and time again this season. And I'll tell you what, going back to the West Brom, Sam Allardyce is more adaptable than Jose Mourinho. When did we think that would ever come out of our mouths? Sam Allardyce is more adaptable than Jose Mourinho. Before the West Brom game, when we beat them 2-0, they changed their formation 3 times in 3 games. So when you've got a problem, you change the formation. You cannot be stubborn in the Premier League. You have to adapt. And since his job, his second time at Chelsea, there's been no adapting. He hasn't adapted at all, Jose. He's just become more and more bitter.
Allardyce has happened to adapt because they're desperate. They're desperate.
We're desperate. We need to get into the top 4. We need to get into the top 4 if we're going to attract the best players.
Backing up Mourinho a second. You say about like if something's broken, then change it. But against Villa, we pretty much had the same team, if not the same. So we've kept it the same as the Villa game where we won 2-0 and we all agreed we played very well. So what happened today? What was the difference? Who was playing for that shirt? Who was playing for that shirt?
The difference is not different. If you watch the first half of the Villa, a win seems to cover everything up. We'll beat Man United next week, and everyone will be like, Jose's not a tactical mastermind. Everyone knows he's
Tommy, do you think
we'll beat Man United?
Do you think playing like that we could beat Man United? Because I think we're gonna get.
Of course we can, because we've been playing like this all season. We beat Man United. We beat Man City 2-0 playing like this. We beat Man City. We got very fortunate and beat Man City 2-0 playing like this.
The difference in that game, I saw a clear counter-attacking way of playing. We sat back. We can't be sitting back against Newcastle. If we'd have done that today, I would have lost my rag. Sitting back against Newcastle, no chance. So we had to play on the front foot. We still had counter-attacking moments. Next week against Man U will be a completely different game. We can't play like that in terms of what we're saying, attacking and being exposed. If what's his name can be getting at us. I can't remember what his name is.
Jacob Murphy to Reggie. Jacob Murphy. Reggie made him look like a fool.
It was mind blowing.
It was worse than when Sterling played Davis. It was worse than when City beat us and Sterling played Davis. He made more of a mug of him than Sterling did.
The difference between today and last week was energy levels. We were not energetic. We were lethargic. We were just slow. Everything was just slow. You could see it. I can't think of the players off the top of my head, but there was so many of us just running around, just sort of jogging, almost like it was a pre-season game. Energy levels was just non-existent today, and that
Lucas and Kane were the only two who tried to. Lucas, again, if you're going to take someone off, take someone else. But I think Lucas again for me, number 10, number 1, number 10. Showing energy. He's got the skills to get out.
First 30 minutes, he was our best player again. First 30 minutes.
Exactly. The decline, Tommy, for me, the biggest worry is the decline. Right from the beginning, we were sat top, fantastic. Then we had these 5 games that were won in a row against, let's be honest, average teams. 3rd from bottom, 5th from bottom, mid-table, and 2 average European teams. Suddenly we were great, and that was papering over the cracks as well.
That's it. That's exactly what I was going to say. That's my next quote. Papering over the cracks. We were playing deep. We were getting lucky with results. After Christmas, we were playing the same way. We didn't get lucky with results because the Premier League does even itself out. It started to even itself out. Mourinho tried to play more attacking, but repetition is habit. We play ultra deep for the whole season. We go attacking. We're in this situation now.
So he doesn't coach in training.
Should we be doing that for every game now? Are we saying, as Tottenham Hotspur, we should be playing a counter-attacking type of football against every team because it's our best way of playing? No chance in hell. We cannot play that way. You have to have adaptability. It's the adaptability which I'm not seeing. I've coached and I know how to coach. If you're a coach, you look at the game, you look at the opponent, and you have to be able to manage things in-game. I never saw any of that today. There was no in-game management. Nothing at all. Even in the first half, when we were not getting on the ball in the right areas, you could see, right, you can't play down the middle here. Get out wide. Double up with your fullbacks. Get somebody out there. You can get some joy. Pull out their fullbacks, and then you might be able to play in that central area. None of that happened. The second half,
that's just not today, though, isn't it? That's not just today, Sam.
Yeah,
I
I
was going
agree.
to say, even against Zagreb, we could see what was coming. Against Arsenal, we knew what was calling us from. Liverpool, you know, Man City is let off because they're going to smash anyone. But there's been times in games this season where we as fans can see what's happening, what's going wrong, and Jose just sat there. What's Jose Sacramento and Deadly King doing? You know, there's probably one of them who's got to say, you know what? What's that?
Do you know, to an extent today, I saw that again, the counter-attacking football. Like you say about adaptability, I don't think we did it again today because if you think about it, we were 2-1 up, right? And I even messaged Sam and I said, I said something to you, didn't I? I said, if we concede, I'm going to go mental. And I called it because what we were doing is we were soaking up the pressure, then we were going to try and counter-attack. Now, Lamela was 2-on-1 with Son going alongside each other. And I thought Lamela's going to slot through Son here. And he takes 3 or 4 absolutely terrible touches, loses the ball. We should have been 3-1 up, and then they scored 30 seconds later. And I'm thinking, that's the margins in the Premier League, you know?
And we could have scored more goals as well. That's what was irritating, James, because we're holding on to a 2-1 lead. And everyone, I don't know about you guys, but I could just feel it. You know, you could just feel something coming. I could just feel a goal coming. And it's not like that. I'm not trying to say that it was because we were doing things. It was just, it's 2-1.
Lost this game.
It's Tottenham. Sanchez at the back, and you just feel it coming. And that's what I was worried when I was like, okay, this has happened like 2 or 3 games now where I thought like we're going to concede. That's worrying. That's very, very worrying.
We could have lost this game. The minute Maximin stepped on the pitch, we could have lost this game. 2-2 could have come 3-2. Easy. That last 5 minutes. I mean, the full-time whistle was on our 18-yard box. Full-time. We would have another 2 minutes. I think they would have won. Honestly,
they had a number of significant injuries today. Obviously, Callum Wilson not being there, Sam Maximin not starting. There was another other.
Isn't that more embarrassing? Isn't that more embarrassing?
Massively embarrassing. Massively embarrassing.
You can look at it in that way,
22
but
shots,
then maybe.
And they had no Sam Maximin and no. That's embarrassing.
Do you know, if I had to say like which team deserved to win if it was not a draw, it's Newcastle, 100%. Newcastle deserved to win today, and they were brilliant. They were brilliant, Newcastle. But let's not forget Spurs were absolutely horrendous. And obviously, you got to give credit to Newcastle. I saw someone put in the comments, no one's mentioned Newcastle played well. They did play well, but we made them play well. We let them play well.
I wouldn't give. That's the thing, James. I look at it purely. I look at our team, and I don't think we should be in a position where we have to give Newcastle any credit, mate. That's the way I see it. And maybe 100%. I'm fickle, or maybe I'm blindsided by the fact I'm Spurs through and through. But with our players, the team out there, formation, structure, all that goes to one side. Fair enough. Obviously, there is something to do with that. But with our players, with the quality of our players, there's no reason we should be sat here giving Newcastle any form of credit. We should be saying we should have got more goals.
And we said about 22 shots, and how did Newcastle have 22 shots? Just to let you know, against Brighton they had 3 shots. Okay, 3 shots, incredible. And we let them have 22 shots. And I know some of them, might not have been on target, or most of them. But the fact we are letting them have 22 attempts on our goal is horrendous. That is horrendous.
We can blame defense. We can blame whatever players we have, but it's not good enough. Like, this isn't the best version of the Spurs team, and leading us forward, even if we do manage to pull out top 4, I think with the caliber of the players we have and the amount of quality that shines through with some of these players is just not good enough. I don't think even if we pull out the finish top 4, there's
definitely change that needs to be made. Whether or not that's going to be management changes or player changes. Player changes are a 100% given. We need to have that, but we can't change everything because that is a rebuild and a restart from the very scratch. And I don't want to go back to the very, very beginning. We have to make changes, significant ones. I agree. Whether or not, the season's not over yet. So let's again, I'm not going to make any judgment on the manager in terms of whether he has to go now or whether he has to go later. I said I'll have a look at that at the end of the season.
I'm Jose out. I'm 100% Jose out. I'm Jose out, end of the season. I said it from the start. I said, end of the season. So we cannot have Jose here to sign his type of player.
I'm not going to enjoy the whole season next year.
We'll end up with Matic playing next to Højbjerg and all sorts. So
he said in Delaney as well. He'll come back.
Probably.
Mate,
number 10.
Mate, he's going to get Cranchar again, isn't he? He's going to go out for Cranchar again.
Oh my God.
He'll get him.
He was a decent player.
Don't want to be talking about players like Cranchar. I want to come back to some more of these comments, but before we do, like, subscribe, share, comment. Paxton Road TV, we're up and running now, so we'll be giving you more content like this, hopefully not so emotional, because I don't like this emotion, but we have to do it. So again, could you please support the channel? Press that like button, hit that subscribe button, and you'll get all the content Paxton Road. and all the guests on here as well. We want to make sure that we give you the best we can with regards to Spurs. It is hard work at times, but we want to do it. Let's go back to a few more of these comments. I actually want to know if anyone still wants Mourinho to stay, and if so, why?
Put your hands up now.
Do you know what?
Nigel,
I was going to say, go on, Mike.
This is with Mourinho. If he goes, then you can kiss goodbye, Son. You can kiss goodbye, Kane.
That's the problem. That's the problem,
right?
Kane.
Because
he's got the power, hasn't he?
The only reason that these players will stay is because Mourinho is their best chance of getting any silverware whilst at Tottenham. If he brings if we bring it in another manager, it's obviously it's going to be a rebuild. Those players aren't going to want to stay around for rebuild, so you can kiss goodbye to all of them.
And if you think about it, think about it just for 1 minute, like Mike's saying, I completely agree. If Kane goes, right, and we're moaning about where we're at the moment, 5th or 6th or wherever we are, right?
Yeah.
Okay, where are we going to be without Kane? Let's be honest here for a second. The amount of goal contributions Kane has. If you take Kane out of that, I think we're 9th, 10th team. Honestly,
it's the biggest issue with letting Jose go. That's without shadow of a doubt the biggest issue with letting Jose go.
And then if
you're going to lose Kane.
It'd be a domino effect, because if Kane goes, then you're going to look around, and Ndombele's going to be like, I'm not feeling this. Son would be like, hold on a minute, I'm now being relied upon like Kane was. There'll just be a domino effect. So we can't have that. Not at the moment. The best chance is Mourinho stays at least till December. Give him till then and see how he's doing with the players that he does bring in.
I would rather he goes in the summer. He either stays for a season, another season, or he goes in the summer. I think you've got to give the manager the summer. You got to give the manager the summer.
We're going to need a rebuild in the summer, regardless, aren't we?
I was just about to say, Bob. Yeah,
but and there's a lot of people saying, oh, maybe selling Kane is a good idea because we'll sell him for 150 or 170 million and we can use that money. Mate, we're going to see about £4.50 of it if we sell it.
And that's the point.
Well, you can't replace Kane, though. Who
irreplaceable. He's because I said if you sell Kane,
irreplaceable.
If you sell Kane, you have to get 2 players because he's playing 2
you can't afford with 150 mil though. So but the thing is, Harry Kane is. I understand, I do understand Harry Kane is irreplaceable. I agree. I said in the chat we can't sell Harry Kane, but there's an inevitable rebuild that's going to have to happen, right? Son's 29, Kane's 28. So let's say hypothetically Jose stays for another year. Kane's 29, Son's 30. Those guys, I don't know what their market value is going to be at that age. My question to you guys is, would you rather cash in and start a rebuild where you're going to have maximum money, or take a risk with Jose for another year with these players, potentially not get anywhere, because I don't think you're going to be able to sell all the players you don't want and sign all the players you want in the next couple of years. And then think about it, in a couple of years, you're going to have Son and Kane at 30, 31 with a year, 2 years on their contract.
Do you know what though, Darius? Do you know what though? Like, I completely understand what you're trying to say there. And
it's just like a point,
if we sell Kane and Son, well, obviously we will have a lot more money to spend. However, if Levy's serious about this football club, keeping Kane and Son for another season, he should still be investing anyway, no matter what. He should still have 100 million.
Football is needed. Football is needed.
If we keep Son and Kane and Mourinho, I don't think Mourinho's shown any signs of building anything towards us winning, right? Exactly. So like that, I feel like that's guaranteed. We're not going anywhere. We've seen a year.
We're damned if we do. We're damned if we do. We're damned if we don't.
Yeah, I know with Mourinho, we're not doing anything. We've seen it. We don't have an identity. We don't know what formation we play. Say we to fire Mourinho, we go into the unknown. Say Son and Kane leave. Say they stay. We still don't know. But then we actually kind of feel like we can do something. However,
you're gonna have a 200.
What are we doing?
That's my only point.
You've got to have consistent. What are we doing?
For a rebuild to happen, you can't be getting rid of your best players just to fund the rest.
But this is what you do though, because Coutinho was sold for 140 mil, and 2 players in their prime were bought. The thing is, this is an inevitable rebuild. That's the point I'm trying to make.
To start a rebuild, you get rid of the dead wood first.
Correct.
But it's guaranteed.
Hold on, going back to the rebuild point. I think the point's been made. If we are going to get someone like a Nagelsmann, you can throw all them names out there. We will lose Collins, Son, and Kane because 100%. They are not going to stick around for 3, 4, 5 years.
I'm not sure either, Bob, as well.
I can't see it.
But even then, okay, so they stay for 2 years. They stay for 2 years with Mourinho, and like Nigel says, we're not going anywhere. They're going to be 30, 31, and they're going to be less, and they're still going to want to go afterwards when they realise they're not going anywhere.
And not only that, But
you get rid of the dead wood and you rebuild from the back.
And what I'm saying, if Nagelsmann or a Tag comes in, the players will. Son and Kane are intelligent themselves to know that Mourinho, if Mourinho's going to pull it out of the bag or not.
He's just a name at the end of the day. Like at the end of the day, you know, if I was a player and I saw a manager, because like I said, I'm a big fan of Nagelsmann, so I'm not going to say how I feel about that.
Though, man. He's 2 years
young.
Than
he's young, but he's got ideas, and what he does is he brings ideas and he improves players and he makes players better.
But Kane won't stay. If Nagelsmann comes, he will not stay with Kane. If we get a mid-40-year-old, 50-year-old who's got a bit of experience, obviously not as big as Mourinho. We don't want someone that's won league titles who's lost the plot now. We want someone with a little bit of quality, a little bit of back catalogue, but not bitter like Mourinho. Nagelsmann's 32.
But Chelsea don't have.
If Nagelsmann comes, Kane's gone. He's out the door.
But Chelsea have. We're comparing to Chelsea. Chelsea don't have Harry Kane. They don't have Son.
They've got a lot of good players, though.
Exactly. They've got a lot of good players, but Chelsea, they've gone through, you could say they've gone through their own rebuild that Frank Lampard sort of kicked off. But
they lost Hazard. They lost Hazard. And Hazard was their Harry Kane. And that's the thing. They did
and look at them.
But they lost Hazard.
You know what worries me about a rebuild is, I know we've moved on a bit of a as a club since 2013, but last time we had a rebuild was when we sold Gareth Bale. Now, you think of the money we used for that, okay? We got Vlad Chiriches. Okay, we got Ericsson, we got Soldado, we got Paulinho. Who else did we get? Oh, it was horrendous. It was honestly awful.
Selling the players that are dead wood can still bring in the money because the market's changed. So the players that we might want to go out and buy, they're not going to be more expensive than the players. Like there's going to be a balance between the players that we sell for a price for a set price to the players that we bring in at a set price. It'll balance itself out.
I disagree because Mourinho's going to want elite players. He's going to want elite players. So if we're going to get rid of dead wood, we're going to have to pay
any
elite
players, has he? Like,
don't you think? Regardless of whichever way we go, don't you think? Be it new player, be it new manager, be it Jose staying, be it Kane staying, it's a massive, absolute massive, and probably the biggest summer for the board. 100%. They need to get the finger. They need to get the finger out. Never has the voice have been so loud from the fan base towards the board, and we are judging them now, and they need to pull it out. They need to pull
they're lucky there's no fans at the stadium.
Exactly.
Mourinho wouldn't have a job if there was fans in the stadium.
It's such a big summer for the board. They need to.
I'm just going to have to move us on. I'm going to go for a few more comments because we could probably do this for 2.5 hours, let alone an hour.
Let's do it for 2.5 hours. Man. Come on,
for real.
So much more to do.
I've got more Easter eggs to find, man.
Pipe 71. Forget top four. We have the worst defense in the league. Charles William, under Poch, did you ever score 100 goals by this time of the season?
I don't. We're more attacking now than we
played Maccabi Haifa. We beat
I'm just reading the comments. It's not me.
Yeah, get over Poch.
Charles Williams, I'm just asking, as you lot are saying,
don't shoot the messenger.
It's down to Kane and Son, but the manager has to set the team up to get the best out of them. So I think Charles is basically saying that Jose set them in a way that we can score goals, but are we conceding too many goals? Are we conceding the wrong type of goals? Are we just not got a good enough defense? That could be questionable in terms of that comment. Boys, your teams are singing David Soulhit's song. What's Red Devils TV? You have no chance next Sunday. Ollie will
we'll beat them. We'll beat Man United. I guarantee it. We'll beat Man United. Everyone will be talking about Jose's the saviour. Jose's the saviour again. I wouldn't be surprised. Anyone could beat anyone. It's been one of those seasons. But whatever happens, Jose needs to go. I don't care if he beats Man United. He's a goner.
I hear another comment here.
You say that, but what happens if we win the cup, right? Are you still Jose out?
After this game, I am.
Did you see the cup run? Did you see the cup run? Have you seen the cup run? We beat Chelsea on penalties. We beat Brentford and Stoke.
I know, but what's the one thing that's been missing from Tottenham for like 15 years?
Brentford, Stoke, and Chelsea on penalties under that. I don't care about silverware. The whole point in silverware is because you accomplish something. If you accomplish something. How is that an accomplishment? Stoke, Brentford, and Chelsea on penalties under Lampard.
We're not building anything.
We're not building anything.
It would be like Birmingham winning. We'll win it, and then what?
I can feel the emotion. I can feel the emotion. I'm going to try and bring it down a little bit. Let's get back to some of these comments. Jose is telling the players to do things, but the players are not listening. Watch the line and watch Jose. No. He's screaming at players, and they do nothing to change the game.
Well, that's Jose's fault then. Exactly. At what point does Jose look at himself and think, you know what? They're not listening to me. Is that a question? Is that how many times are going to question the players? When does Jose the proud man he is, when does he start to self-analyse and think, they're not listening to me? I must be saying something wrong.
He's in the money.
Mate, there's something wrong there. If it's something goes there again, there's something wrong with what you're saying.
And I do agree with this. Without Kane, we'll be a mid-table team.
Yeah.
Probably.
Raheem, oh, here we go. Arsenal. It took him a while. Crap team, nice seats when you can use them. Ha, 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 ha. Well, you did very well against
Liverpool. They need to focus on staying in the flipping top half of the table, don't they?
Well, Aubameyang needs to change that hairstyle because of a hairstyle like that.
What the hell was going on there, man?
You'd not be happy with that at all. Not one bit.
Predator.
Don't worry, guys. I think Bryson may brighten up your Easter. And that is all the comments we have so far. And lads, you know what? I think we just need to wrap things up because we've been on for an hour and it's been a good hour. I think we've all voiced a number of opinions, a number of things where we've disagreed on, but that's the whole point about all of these discussions. Again, just before we end the session, like, subscribe, share, comment if you've enjoyed the content. I can't say I've enjoyed today, but at least we've been here and we've shown our face. I don't mean that. The guests, you guests have been superb, but I just can't take things like this when it was a great opportunity. We didn't take advantage of that. But as football goes, there is always another game next week. We haven't got a game midweek. We can fully rest. We can fully get a system together. We can do all that. Not me personally, but I would like to think that the management team will be doing that. So again, lads, top four is still on. We are in a cup final. I know we're all saying about it's the Mickey Mouse Cup or it's the Joke Cup or whatever you want. At the end of the day, it's still a cup final that we're in, and we have got an opportunity to win, and we have got an opportunity to be top four. So as Spurs fans, we have to look to the positives. I know we have a lot of negatives, but there is another game to come. So gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All. It's been emotional. We're going to be out with this. Take care and see you guys soon.
See you there, guys.